Hi, my name is Jon Kelsen. I teach here at Drisha. This week is Parashat Vayakhel-Pekudei. After the extent of Sefer Shemot, we finally arrive at the completion of the construction of the tabernacle, which according to Ramban at least is the goal of the entire Exodus. After weeks and many words describing the building and planning the building of the construction of the Mishkan, we arrive at a shocking passage. I'm reading from chapter 40, verse 34 and on in the end of Sefer Shemot, where God's cloud covers the Ohel Moed, covers the tent of meeting, and God's glory fills the Mishkan. And given the apparent goal of the Mishkan as being a place where God and humanity can meet, we are shocked to find, actually, that the next verse tells us "V'lo yachol Moshe lavo al Ohel Moed," that Moshe actually could not enter the Mishkan because Kishachan alav ha'anan, because the cloud of God has dwelt upon, has covered the Mishkan because of God's presence. Counter to our expectation, instead of the book ending with a grand meeting between God and Moshe, in the Ohel Moed, we now find that Moshe cannot enter the Ohel Moed because God is there. This Rashi notes right away. It says, Rashi, I thought the point of the Mishkan, of the Ohel Moed, the tent of meeting, as its name would imply, was to provide a space wherein God and Moshe could speak. What does it mean that Moshe could not enter the Mishkan because God was there? And Rashi answers, Kishachan alav ha'anan. When God's cloud covered the Mishkan, then Moshe could not enter to speak with God. However, when the cloud would be removed from the Mishkan, then Moshe could enter. That is to say, it is as if God was signaling to Moshe when God was available and when God was not available to speak with Moshe. This is actually a very poignant moment in the text, even in the context of the Ohel Moed, this tent of meeting designed to allow for greater intimacy between Moshe and God, to allow for a place of communication between God and humanity at large. Even within such a context, it apparently was important to God that there be moments where God would be available to speak to Moshe and moments where God would be unavailable to speak to Moshe. And I would propose that it's actually because of the desire to allow for intimacy that this etiquette was so important, especially in such circumstances, in such a relationship where God would speak face-to-face with Moshe, panim al panim, face-to-face, such an intimate connection. Specifically in such a circumstance, it was important that there be moments where God had, as it were, privacy, that the etiquette remained where there were times of availability and times where God was unavailable to speak to Moshe. This is important for us to realize as well, that in order to achieve intimacy, sometimes we actually need to specifically maintain etiquette rather than to devolve and lose it. Shabbat shalom.